Well, hello. I am back, and as you can see, this camera is still acting all foggy, and everything is just still out of proportion. I have more light here, and it is still, for some reason, but at any rate, the devil is still stupid and a loser. So what I want to share with you tonight is we're talking about nightlight tonight. I want to share with you this third reason why God takes so long to answer our prayers. Now remember, these are not exhaustive, and there's no absolutes because many of us are dealing with a lot of things. And so your night light tonight, I want you to meditate on what I'm saying to you as relates to making sure that you do a self-examination about what it is that you're asking God about. And then when I say self-examination, think about what you possibly could still be holding on to that's causing God to just look at you and go, oh, well, you'll eventually get it that I am not going to answer you on that because you know what you're supposed to be doing concerning this or that. And so tonight, number three, the third reason why that is a possibility that could be why he is not answering you or us. It is because we tend to attempt to manipulate him. Without mercy, now how can we manipulate God? Well, easy, because a lot of us got a lot of cunning ways that so easily beset us. And one of those ways is through manipulation. Because God already knows us, he created us, he knows all about us. But when you manipulate someone, what that means is you think you're very clever. You think that you can control or steer a situation, or that you can influence someone, or kind of get the situation to go or speak to someone about something or a situation so that it will be able to flow the way you feel more comfortable about. Same thing. When you begin to talk to God about a situation that you need his help with, for some reason, you start going about, well, God, my heart, and I've done everything I possibly could to show him or her that I didn't mean to hurt their feelings, or you need to deal with them. Why don't you change my husband or get him out of my life because I'm tired of this? Or you try to find reasons or manipulative, clever ways to make it look like woe is me, or Lord, you need to understand me. I am really going through. But this clever maneuver, or this way that seemeth right to us about the situation, or this thing that for some reason you can't seem to shake loose, but you still continue to do the thing that you know is not right. And you asking God, why in the world are you taking so long? This is urgent that I need to get this done, Daddy. So why are you taking so long? Well, first of all, you cannot rule God. You cannot tell him what to do. You can only ask and believe God. And see, one of the things we have a tendency to do, we want to try to wind up things and put God on our clock when really we can never ever know the hour, just like we will not know the hour when he comes to return. The same thing. You will know it may be a situation that you have a need of, and it may be 11:59 move before he show up. I love really the 11:59s, even though I'll be a little upset. But I know that they're right on time. Why? Because he knows what's best for me. He knows right when to slap the devil in the face and say, see, you thought you had her. You thought that it was going to have her where she would be so depressed and laid out and stressed about it. But I'm trying to stretch her faith, devil, to show you that she's going to believe me and not you. Don't want to start this coughing, so let me get some water here. And so I want to stress out a little bit about this message. Let's look at, in Saul's situation. Let's go and turn to 1 Samuel chapter 13. Let's look at verse 14. And in verse 14, I thought I was already turned there. In verse 14, it says here, and, here we go, 14, it says, but now your kingdom shall not continue. Okay. It said, the Lord has sought for himself a man after his own heart. Now Saul did all this deceptive stuff, and he thought he could maneuver around and get things his way because he was just, I call a weak man. And then it goes on to say here, but the Lord has sought for himself a man after his own heart. Sought his own heart, and the Lord has commanded him to be commander over his people because you have not kept what the Lord had commanded you. Then Saul rose arose and went up to Gilgal to Jabesh and Benjamin. And Saul numbered the people present with him about 600 men. Saul, Jonathan's son, his son, and the people present with them remained in Gilgal of Benjamin. But the Philistines encamped at Mishma. The raiders came out of the camp of the Philistines and 3 companies. One company turned onto the road to Ophrah, to the land of Shual. Another company turned to the road to Beth Horon, and another company turned to the road of the border that overlooks the valley of Zebulun toward the wilderness. Now there was no blacksmith to be found throughout all the land of Israel. But the Philistines said, lest the Hebrews make swords or spears, but the Israelites would go down to the Philistines to sharpen each man's plowshare, his mattocks, his axe, and his sickle, and the charge for the sharpening was of him. For the plowshares, the mattocks, the forks, and the axes, and to set the points of the goads. So it came about on the day of battle that there was neither sword nor spear found in the hand of any of the people who were with Saul and Jonathan, but they were found with Saul and Jonathan his son. And the garrison of the Philistines went out to pass of the Michmash. Now we got to realize that there was a couple of things happening here. And the first of all, that Saul was acting like a coward and scared. And then the other thing is Saul had no good intentions. He presented burnt offerings to the Lord, but he let his fear that the people would desert him control his actions. You need to see that in 1 Samuel 13, verse 14. And see, you got to remember, only courage and only faith is going to move the hand of God. You can say anything you want. You can try to do anything you want. You can try to control the situation if you try. Just like with Saul. If you look at the situation, he was confronted. But what he did, he tried to make excuses for everything. And we do that. We try to make excuses for every reason why we don't believe God, but we believe our own Airedale. We believe what we can do in our own strength. And we wonder why God said, go ahead, do it yourself. You praying to me, but yet you want to try to do it on your own. See, manipulation is that I'm going to make it look like I believe God. But really, I believe only what I can do in my own strength. I know I'm talking to somebody. I only believe what I can see in the natural. This is the reason why he ain't answering you. Why? Because it's going to be a supernatural move of God. It's not going to be something that you're going to be able to see God do all the time in the natural. Yes, he's going to make it happen in the natural, but he wants you to look into the supernatural, the thing that you cannot see, the thing that you're looking for it to be, even though it is not. And what has happened is that we sometimes have, just like Saul, want so much for everything to be looking like, you know, I got it under control. And then all the time we look very foolish because we try to speak and do a thing to make it look like we have faith. And there we are, we have fear. Oh, I know I'm talking to somebody. Been there, probably still trying to get out of there. But anyway, what I want you to know is that in these lessons, we're on number 3. But the main point I want your nightcap to be tonight is that you can no longer try to call yourself maneuvering things to get God to do it your way. Maneuvering, trying to be clever about the way, like Saul, trying to manipulate things, trying to set people in position to do things that, first of all, many might not even qualify for, many was not even prepared for, and maybe that's why he's still holding on to the prayer in his hand, saying, when you let that go, then I'll give you that. But what you won't let go, then he can't give you that. So you got to let some things go. That means let the thing go that you're trying to do in your own strength. Let the thing go that you're trying to believe God that you can do on this end when he tells you, I don't need your help. Oh, I know I'm talking to somebody. You know, maybe it's a child. Maybe it's a job that's working on your nerve. Maybe it's a boss. Maybe it's a spouse. Maybe it's a pastor who done disappointed you, or a leader, or a friend. But I'm telling you right now, the devil is stupid. He is a loser. And the only thing God wants you to do is do what he said in the fruit that we must all pray for, and that is have the long suffering. And please pray that your heart will stay soft, and repent that God will heal your hurt or unforgiveness that you're holding on to. See, because you can't bring your gifts to the altar until you let it go. See, this is the hardest part. I'm going to keep bringing that back to you. See, because we want God to answer us, but many a times we are still holding on to bitterness, and trees have grown in our heart when we think it's nothing but a little offense I'm trying to get over. When actually you got a whole big tree big enough in your heart to chop down and burn fire. Oh, I know I'm talking to somebody. So listen to me. Tonight, I want you to realize that God is saying this to you concerning your attempt to manipulate, not just him through your, your fruitless prayers, because he hears you, but there's no fruit coming out of that. Because first of all, you need to do an assessment on what's in your heart and what have you tried to manipulate lately. What have you tried to do that you feel like that you thought you could tell God this way, or maneuver a word, or maneuver a thing about a situation or prayer request? But I'm telling you right now, he's saying your attempt to manipulate him, which means you're trying to control his ways, his timing, and trying to pray or cry your way through it, or look like you have really been in the face of God and you've done nothing but sit there and try to manipulate the thing to look like it should be in your favor, when it's nothing but God trying to turn the thing around so you can humble yourself. Well, I don't like to get like this here, because I get wild when I start thinking about the leadership and people who won't humble themselves. So you got to humble yourself. See, God will not set things up until you come down. God help us today. At any rate, he's saying, don't manipulate me. Don't try to manipulate me. And you should not expect him to answer you when you're still in this baby stage that you refuse to look at the gameplay. The thing is, you think he don't know. He knew it before he was going to even try to do it. So tonight, Father, I pray that in Jesus' name. Come on, you need to receive this. I pray that in Jesus' name, this nightcap, Father, they'll realize that you said in Philippians 4:13 that they can do everything, not without you, but with you. All things are possible, that you will give them strength in the things, God, that you called them to do. You will give them the provisions and what you called them to do. You will give them the wisdom and what you called them to do. And so, Father, in the name of Jesus, I pray tonight that you will give them the grace, the same grace you gave me on September 6, 1974. You told me that your grace was sufficient. When you took that 12-gauge shotgun, when I woke up and opened my eyes to witness that I could not see, that my eyes that caused me to be blind from the swelling of my head. But my God, I thank you that you said that your grace is sufficient even for this one that is listening. Lord God, I pray that they will grab hold of Psalm 73:26. It says that my flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. And so we thank you that you're going to give them courage tonight, Daddy. I thank you, Lord God, that they'll realize that when they lack courage, they lack commitment of faith and trust in you. And so I speak strength to the battle. I speak that the devil is still stupid and a loser in your situation. You don't have to be manipulative. You don't have to be cunning. You don't have to try to change the situation. All you need to do is say, Daddy, thank you. I will wait and believe you and not the devil. Good night. I pray this night light has helped you, and I pray you be strengthened for the rest of the week. Talk to you next week. God bless you.